you are, Professor Deemer.
She's here, Dr. Strauss.
Oh, good. Have her come in, please.
Please come in, Miss Gideon.
How do you do, Dr. Strauss?
Miss Kenyon, have you brought him with you?
Yes.
So first, take him up to the laboratory to run some tests.
Without my meeting him?
Well, I thought it would save time. Miss Gideon can fill us in on his background.
I see. Well, Miss Kenyon.
His name is Charlie Gordon. He's 32, about 5'10", rather nice looking, brown hair, blue eyes, and he's cognitively challenged.
And do you know his IQ?
68.
And how did you meet him?
I teach a night class for challenged adults. Someone at the bakery where he works heard about it and told him. The first night Charlie came, of course he couldn't read or write, but he bought a newspaper on the way to school thinking he could read it on his way home.
Our subject must be able to read and write. We want him to keep a journal of his reactions.
Oh, he can now, at about a 3rd grade level. He's slow and sometimes he forgets what he's learned already, but he works very hard. He's so anxious, so very eager to learn. That's why I wrote to you when I heard about this project.
Has he any family?
If he has, he's lost track of them. There was a younger sister. The family lived in Brooklyn. She may still be there.
If there is a family, we'll need permission. Something should go wrong during the operation.
So we'll look for them. How big is Brooklyn?
Exactly what kind of operation is it?
Well, it's very new.
So far, we've only done it with mice.
Mice!
It's been very successful, though. There's one mouse in the laboratory whose intelligence has increased threefold and is still growing.
Can you explain it to me, the operation?
That's too difficult for a layman to understand.
Put very simply, we remove the damaged portion of the impaired brain by surgery. Then, by chemical injection, revitalize the remaining brain tissue, permitting it to produce brain proteins at a supernormal rate.
Right. It is too complicated for a layman.
If successful, this operation will increase the patient's mental capacity past the level of a genius. We think it'll happen very quickly.
Genius. And he'll stay that way permanently?
We have every reason to believe so.
So far, it's worked with Algernon.
Who's Algernon?
That's what my technicians call the mouse.
But what happens if the operation isn't a success?
Well, there may be no effect at all, or his intelligence might improve temporarily, or it might make him worse.
What would happen to him then?
He'll be taken care of.
How?
Miss Gideon, we would not proceed with this operation if we were not reasonably certain of success. We are, however, aware of the possibility of failure. And the Wellberg Foundation, which is sponsoring our work, will take steps to ensure the patient's future in that event.
Perhaps I shouldn't have brought Charlie here.
There is inevitably some danger, Miss Kitty, in exploring new fields, but in every scientific advance, there must be someone who goes first.
I know, it's just a little upsetting when the first person isn't somebody faceless in a newspaper, but someone you know, someone you care about.
If Charlie is chosen and we succeed, he will have more than a new life. He will have a life. And even if we fail, he will have made a greater contribution to mankind than most normal people could ever hope to make.
I know that, it's just, Charlie's like a lovable little boy. All he wants, all he ever talks about is to be smart. He's quite incapable of making a decision like this on his own. And I've taken it on myself. I hope I'm doing the right thing.
Just make yourself comfortable, Charlie.
You want I should open my mouth and say, ah?
Why would I want that?
Oh, that's doctors. Open your mouth and say, ah.
I'm not a doctor, Charlie.
Yeah, but you got a white coat on.
That's because I work in the laboratory. Now just relax.
It hurts when they say relax.
Oh, no, Charlie, this won't hurt. There's nothing to be scared of.
I know, because I got my rabbit's foot.
Good, because we're going to run some tests.
Tests? When I was a kid in school, I always failed tests.
Well, this is different. It's called a Rorschach test.
A Rorschach.
Yes, all you do is look at these cards and tell me what you see.
And that's a test?
Yes, look at these, Charlie. What do you see on these cards? People see all sorts of things on these ink blots. What might that be for you?
It looks like somebody spilled a red ink on a white card.
Charlie, people see pictures of these.
Where?
You have to imagine they're there.
Oh, imagine.
Yes.
I imagine.
Yes.
I imagine an ink blot.
Charlie, you have to pretend. Pretend there's something
Oh, pretend. I pretend.
there. Yes.
I pretend that somebody spilled a red ink on a white card.
Right. Let's try something else. Doris, will you bring in Algernon?
Right away, Bert.
Charlie, we're going to play a game. This is called a maze.
I don't see no picture.
That's because it isn't a test. It's sort of a race. See, the mouse starts here. He works his way through all the little alleys and all the little openings to get back to here. And that makes a spell ring. And he gets a prize, some cheese.
No mouse would find all them holes.
Thank you, Doris. Charlie, this is Algernon.
Oh, hi, Algernon. Wow, he's a cute little mousey, isn't he?
Would you like to see him race?
Oh, yeah.
Ready, set, go.
Wow. Oh, go, Algernon, go. Wow. Well, that is a smart mouse.
Would you like to race him?
Oh, I couldn't fit in there.
That's not what I mean, Charlie. The door's arrangement too. Charlie, this maze is the same as Algernon's. You just take this pen and you start here, and you end here, but you must go over any of the printed lines.
And who gets to the end first wins?
Right.
Okay. Oh, but Bert, I don't like cheese.
That's all right. We'll just see who wins.
Okay.
Ready, set, go.
But I...
Go back, find the way.
Oh. I didn't know mice was so smart.
Well, this one has a lot of advantages.
Does this mean I'm not going to get operation done because I lost?
No, Charlie, this was just a test.
Because I can do better, because I want that, because I want to get operation on it. And I could watch Algernon a long time, and even if it took me a long time, I know I can do it.
Well, we'll see what Professor Niemer says, Charlie.
Because I ain't afraid of the operations. Because I ain't afraid of nothing, because I'm strong, and I always do good in sides. I got my rabbit's foot.
I don't know. I simply don't know.
He didn't do too well on the test.
From a man with an IQ of 68, you don't expect the responses you'd get from Dr. Saw.
He passed the physical. The doctor said he was as strong as a horse.
It's not a trial for the Olympic team. It's a serious scientific experiment.
I know Charlie isn't what you had in mind, Professor, for the first of your new breed of intellectual supermen. But most people of Charlie's low mentality are hostile and uncooperative. They're usually dull and apathetic and hard to reach.
Charlie's good-natured, and he's eager to please.
It's not the popularity contest either. He'd be the first human being ever to have his intelligence increased by surgery.
Exactly. Where will we find another impaired individual with his tremendous motivation to learn?
He can read and write very well for his mental age.
So he can read and write. Does he understand? Does he know what we're going to do to him? Does he know what can happen?
I think he does. We explained very carefully when we interviewed him.
Please, Professor, let's use it.
Why does it mean that much to you?
Because he wants it so bad. He wants to be smart. If this project has any chance to succeed, it will succeed with Charlie Gordon.
Well, maybe you're right. We will use him.
Yes, hello? Oh, Bert. No, I'm just making breakfast. Is it over? How is he? Oh, thank God. But can they tell what effect it had on his mind? When do they think they'll know? I see. Can I come and see him tonight? Well, will you let me know just as soon as he can have visitors? Thank you, Bert, and thank you so much for calling.
Charlie,
Is anything the matter?
the anesthetic hasn't quite worn off yet. Charlie, wake up, Charlie.
Oh. Oh, are you ready for the operation?
It's all over, Charlie.
Over?
Yes, you've been asleep for 18 hours. Pulse is normal.
You done it when I was sleeping?
Yes.
Well, that's a funny thing to do.
Well, we put you to sleep.
Oh yeah, you put that thing in my nose and it smelled funny, and you was all dressed up like the doctors on TV.
Respirations are normal.
How do you feel, Charlie?
Oh, I feel fine, but... Am I smart?
Well, that's not how it works. You have to work very hard to get smart.
Well, then what did I need to get operation for?
So that when you learn something, it sticks with you, not the way it was before.
Oh. I thought I would get smart right away, and then I could go back and show my friends at the bakery and talk smart things with them, like how the president makes dumb mistakes and all. And if you're smart, you have lots of friends to talk to, and you don't get lonely by yourself all the time.
You will, Charlie, in time. Now see, I brought you a present.
Gee, thanks. What is it?
It's a notebook, and I want you to write in it every day.
Write what?
Well, we'll call it a progress report. Every day I always put the date at the top, and then I want you to write down what you remember, what you think, what you feel about your past, and do it every day.
I don't remember so good.
Well, do the best you can, Charlie. By reading this, we'll know what's going on in your mind.
I don't know what's going on in my mind, so I'll get you.
Just take my word for Charlie. Do the best you can.
I'd like to check his motor functions. Charlie, do you feel able to walk?
Sure. I can walk good since the operation. Well, I could always walk good.
Bert, would you take him for a walk down the corridor, please?
Sure, Doctor. Come on, Charlie.
Can I go back to work soon, Doctor?
Do you want to?
Yeah, we have lots of fun at the bakery. And maybe I could go and find my mom and dad, because my mom, she always wanted me to be smart. And maybe if she saw how smart I got, she wouldn't want to send me away no more.
Well, we'll see. Try to walk now, Charlie.
Okay. Hey, Bert, did you have to walk Algernon like this after he got his operation?
Should we send him back to work?
I think. In a few days. He seems perfectly fine.
What about the tests? What about the therapy? What about the progress reports?
He can come to the laboratory after work. I can see him for therapy, and Bert can continue the test. 2 hours a night should do it. And the progress reports he'll do on his own time.
You don't think it's too much activity? After all, he's just had a major operation.
He may be tired for a while, but I think on the whole it's best to leave him in his own environment. We mustn't change his life completely all at once. He feels at home at the bakery. His friends are there.
Can I finish changing the bed now, Doctor?
Well, suppose he doesn't want to come in for therapy. Suppose he doesn't want to come in for tests.
Charlie will want to. And besides, we'll pay him. There's money in the budget for that.
I suppose you're right. One thing, though, we should warn him not to talk about the nature of the operation. People won't understand and make life difficult for him. You don't want his friends treating him like he's some sort of freak.
Which, of course, is what we may have made him.
That's not a scientific attitude, Doctor.
Forgive me, I sometimes slip back and think like a human being.
That's sentimentalizing. What we've done, if it works, we'll push forward the boundaries of human knowledge. Help untold numbers of people.
Yes, of course. It just seems like a man's life is a more delicate thing to deal with than a mouse's.
March 15th, progress report. Progress report. When I wakened up this morning, I thought I was gonna be smart, but I'm not. Maybe the operation didn't work and they'll give up on me. Well, at least then I wouldn't have to run these stupid amazes anymore. I hate Algernon. Can't help that he's a smart mouse. He got the same operation as me. I bet I could do the amaze faster than a regular mouse. Bert says, don't be dis. Bert says it took a long time before Algernon got smart. I can go back to work today, but I doesn't tell no one about the operation they done, because they would maybe laugh. Your friend, Charlie Gordon. Great!
What did you do to make clothes, Frank? I bit him like you told me. How many times I gotta bill him?
What is it? What is it? All this screaming, you're gonna frighten away my customers. It shouldn't happen.
Mrs. Donner, with the second baker like Frank, I don't need enemies. What are you doing? You working for the bakery down the street? I filled the Rodney Claire. Yeah, you filled it with lemon meringue pie filling.
Keep telling it, Frank. Keep your mind on your way.
What mind? You pulled the real Charlie Gordon that time, Frank.
Oh, you shouldn't say that, Joe. He's one of God's creatures. Gina, make a sign. It'll say lemon cream eclairs. That'll be a special. Now there, it's all settled.
And what am I supposed to do with all the meringue?
Hey, look! Speak of the devil, it's Terry. Charlie, darling, you're back! How about a cup of coffee and a jelly donut hot from the oven?
Looking good there, kid.
What'd they do, Charlie? Put some brains in!
Maybe you need an operation, Frank. Then you'd know where to put the custard.
Come on, Frank, you got 6 birthday cakes. And this time, try to remember, birthday spelled with an I.
Glad to have you back. Charlie, the place ain't got half the laughs.
Thanks, Frank.
You're looking real good, Charlie. What'd they do to you?
Oh, well, they put me to sleep and then they operation on me.
How you doing really, darling?
I'm okay, but where's the deliveries?
Gina, make the sign. Charlie, you're not going to deliver it.
But I always deliver.
And deliver good. Never a mistake. But while he was gone, I needed someone to drag the cakes around. So I hired a boy, Ernie. Nice boy. You'll like him. So I thought you should just rest up after your operation and sweep up like always, and Ernie will drag.
But I'm okay, Mrs. Donner. I can clean up and do the deliveries. What do you need an Ernie for?
He needs the money, Charlie. And I'm going to keep him on as an apprentice and learn him to be a baker. You can be his assistant and help him out with deliveries. You know, like Saturdays and Thanksgiving and all.
I was never a assistant.
Charlie, how long you been here? 17 years, Charlie. 17 years ago, your Uncle Herman brought you to my Sam, oh God rest his soul, and asked him if you could work here and we look after you. After Herman died and your mother committed you to that Warren place, my Sam got you out. And his promise is my promise. Ha! Just remember, I'll never be a millionaire from the bakery business, but you'll have a job here for the rest of your life.
Mrs. Donner, can I learn to be an apprentice baker like that Ernie?
Don't you worry. You just remember, you'll never have to go back to that Warren place. Not for my worst enemy, that place.
Charlie, you haven't been to the lab in more than a week.
It's important to you and to our work. Don't you understand? Don't you want to come to the lab?
I don't want to race that Algernon no more.
All right. For a while, you won't have to race it. But you will have to start going to therapy sessions with Dr. Strauss.
What's the ripple?
Well, Charlie, you come to my office and you lie down on my couch and you talk about what you think, what you feel, about your dreams.
Don't have no dreams.
Well, you will. Charlie, a therapy session is, well, when you feel bad, you talk and that makes it better.
But I don't feel bad, and I do plenty of talking all day, so what do I got to go to therapy for?
Because we say so, Charlie. Now, we're loaning you this teaching machine.
Machine? If I'm going to get teach, I want to be teached by Miss Kinian's class.
Well, Miss Kinian is coming to the center to teach you specially.
Yeah, when?
Soon.
In the meantime, use this teaching machine. It's like a TV set. It shows pictures and it talks. We want you to turn it on at night before you go to sleep.
You're kidding. Why do you want me to turn on the TV before I go to sleep?
Because we say so, Charlie.
Yeah, well, why?
Just do it, Charlie.
No, explain me why.
He's beginning to question authority.
All right. This machine can do many things to your mind. It can teach you things when you're sleepy. And when you're asleep, it can help you have dreams. So you remember your past.
I don't want to get us smart when I'm asleep. I want to get us smart when I'm awake.
Charlie, you have two minds, the conscious and the subconscious. Before you sleep, the machine will teach your conscious mind. And while you sleep, it will stir up memories in your subconscious.
I gotta get smart. For 2 minds, I am never gonna get smart.
Charlie, you are getting smarter all the time. It's moving so slowly you can't see it, but it's moving just like the hour hand of a clock. Soon, you're going to be a very intelligent young man.
And use the machine.
Two times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8.
I never learned nothing watching the late movies, and they was more interesting than
2
you.
times 6 is 12. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 8 is 16.
How am I supposed to get any sleep with you yelling numbers at me all night?
8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6 is 48. Remember, remember, remember.
My Uncle Herman was a house painter. And he used to sleep at our house when he was out of work in the old sofa in our parlor. I loved my Uncle Herman. I really did. Once I told my mom I want to be a painter just like my Uncle Herman. Now my sister Norma, she said Charlie's going to be the artist in the family. And then she laughed. But then my father slapped her in the face. And he said, quit being so nasty to your brother. I don't know what an artist is, but if Norma got slapped for saying it, it must not be a very nice thing. I always feel bad when Norma got slapped for being mean to me. Maybe when I get smart, I'll go and I'll go visit her.
I wouldn't believe it if I saw it with my own eyes. So, what's going on in the kitchen? Maybe the Russian ballet is performing Swan Lake?
Look at this, Mrs. Donner.
Oh, I'm looking, I'm seeing, but I'm not believing. How come Charlie's running the dough mixing machine?
I always thought the lunch. It's Frank's big idea of an April Fool's joke.
I pay you to make April Fool's jokes with expensive machinery?
Well, Oliver quit yesterday. The machine was sitting there. I thought it was... What is your sense of humor?
It took Oliver 6 months to learn, and he went to baker school.
But how could Charlie?
I only know what I see. Did you get a new man?
The union said maybe next week. Do you think Charlie could do it?
He did better than Oliver.
Charlie, darling, what you doing?
I didn't mean nothing, Mrs. Donner. I only Frank said.
No one said you meant nothing. How'd you learn to do that?
Well, I always just watched Oliver, and so I just done it.
I don't mean to be religious or anything, but it's like a miracle.
I told you there's something peculiar about Charlie lately.
Go take the cheesecakes out of the oven.
Mrs. Donut! Mrs. Donut! 7 years I have been coming here already, and I am afraid to complain about the noodle pudding you sold me on Friday.
What could be the matter with the noodle pudding?
Too many noodles.
What did you expect in noodle pudding? Maybe macaroons?
Raisins. Where are the raisins, I ask you?
Oh, Gina, get Mrs. Feldman a piece of noodle pudding on the house.
And the cupcake for my cleaning girl. What does she know from what's good to eat?
Charlie, I don't know how you done it, but it looks like you finally learned something. Now, I think you should work hard and be careful. You got yourself a new job and a $5 raise.
I don't want a new job. I want to clean up and do the deliveries and work with my friends Frank and Joe.
Oh, never mind about your friends. I need you in the new job. You should want to work and advance yourself.
Well, what's advance?
Never mind. Just from now on, you run the dough mixing machine. That's advance. Mr. Riley, I want you should meet the new dough mixer. That's one April Fool's joke that backfired.
Tell me the joke, Frank, the one that backfired.
Go soak your head.
Does this mean I'm getting smarter?
Ha, ha, ha.
Dry up.
What is it?
His progress report for April 9th. It was the day I gave the punctuation lesson, and there's a comma after every word.
His progress has been remarkable. His IQ is well over 100, and I truly believe he'll be 150 in several weeks.
It's going so quickly. I've got him reading novels and history, and his arithmetic is almost high school level. In a week or so, I think he can start a foreign language.
What's he reading now?
Robinson Crusoe.
And he understands it?
Yes, he was terrible upset at first that Crusoe was so lonely, but then very relieved when Crusoe on Friday.
Yes, he's always seemed to have a fixation on loneliness.
He's always been alone.
That's true. What will you have him do next?
I was thinking perhaps some of the modern novels, Grapes of Wrath and Look Home, Old Angel.
Excellent. Now, our problem will start when he reaches the college level. He must not be allowed to read any psychology. It'll confuse him, get him thinking about psychological theories and less about his own ideas and views.
I'm afraid there's going to be another problem when he reaches college level.
What's that?
Me? I don't think I can keep ahead of him.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Maybe, though, he's very attached to you. You're almost like a mother figure to him.
If I'd have wanted to become a mother professor, I'd have married and become a mother.
Yes. Well, Dr. Stroll says his therapy sessions are progressing quite well. He's beginning to dream, remember things from his past. Early days at bakery, even his childhood.
I can't be very happy.
It's odd. He can remember events. He can remember his sister Norma, but he can't remember his parents' faces, or even their names.
I keep wondering what kind of people they were. Oh, I know that perfectly normal, people of normal mentality can have children with special needs, but there's such an essential goodness to Charlie, the sweetness. How could they have sent him to that institution? He was their child.
There are pressures.
If it wasn't for his uncle and Mr. Donner getting him out, he might have sunk lower and lower, become a vegetable. What a terrible waste.
Miss Kenyon! Miss Kenyon, I beat Algernon!
That's wonderful!
Yeah, I didn't even know until Bert Selden told me, and then I got so excited I lost. But then I beat him 8 times in a row.
Oh, it's wonderful, Charlie, wonderful.
I know, I must be getting smart to beat a smart mouse like that.
Yes, Charlie.
And then Bert let me hold him, and I feel bad that I beat him, so I wanted to feed him, but Bert wouldn't let me.
Algernon's a special mouse. When he's hungry, when he wants to eat, he's got to solve a problem to get his food.
Well, how would you like to have to solve a problem every time you want to eat?
Me? I have a PhD.
Did you finish Robinson Crusoe?
Yeah, and I liked it a lot, but what happened to him after?
After what?
After that story?
I don't know, that's all there is.
Yeah, but I want to know more about him.
But Charlie, a man writes a story, he comes to an end, and then he's finished. And then he writes another story.
Can I read that one?
What?
The other story?
There isn't another story here, Charlie. I brought some books. How was everything else going?
Swell. I got an advance at work.
I know, I read your report.
You read them?
Yes, tell me, see how you're getting on.
Well, it's kind of funny. I mean, I kept writing them, but I didn't know that people were reading them or you.
Does that bother you?
Maybe. It's just that I write down everything that's in my mind and maybe some things I wouldn't want you to know about.
Charlie, you have nothing to be ashamed of. You're a fine person, and you're going to show them all one day.
Show them what?
Oh, I guess I mean for someone who God gave so little to, you've done a lot more than some people who have always had brains and never used them. Don't feel badly if you find out that some people aren't as smart as you think, or as nice.
People are nice, Miss Kenyon. You, Professor Niemer, and Dr. Strauss, and my friends at the bakery. They're all smart and nice, and no one has ever done anything that isn't nice, Miss Kenyon.
Try the books, Charlie. We'll stop for now.
Is something wrong?
No, I just got something in my eye.
April 15th. Miss Kinnian is a nice lady, like my mom used to be, I think. I remember my mom always told me to be good and friendly, but be careful, because people might think that you was making trouble. I remember when they brought my baby sister home from the hospital. I still don't know why you get him at a hospital. She was nice, like a doll, only she cried all the time. They put her in a crib in their room, and once I heard my father say, "Don't worry, Charlie wouldn't hurt her." And one time Dave was in the kitchen, and I'm in bed and she's crying. I only wanted to hold her and make her quiet like, "Mom."
Don't ever touch her again, you'll hurt her. She's just a baby. Mama's precious baby.
Thought I was gonna hurt the baby. I would never hurt the baby. Don't tell Dr. Scuss I remember tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Tomorrow Frank is throwing me a party because of my new job.
Hey, Joe, put on the stairs so we can dance. What's that? Beautiful, beautiful. Having a good time, Charlie boy? Hey, Ellen, you got any food?
Yeah, have some of these.
Hey, that's beautiful.
Will you have some?
Yeah, sure.
So, you work at the bakery too, Charlie?
Sure, he's the heart and soul place. And lately the brains too.
Well, do you like your job?
Miss Gideon said, always be proud of the work that you do.
Who's that?
His teacher, he goes to some night school.
You like her, don't you, Charlie?
She's nice.
You ever kiss her?
No, you don't kiss the teacher.
Ain't that Charlie too much? Here, kid. A nice cold drink.
What is it?
Coke.
It tastes funny.
What you get at?
Coke. Hey, Charlie, why don't you dance with Ellen?
Oh, I don't know how.
Ellen will teach you.
No, I feel funny.
Oh, go on.
I know, Frank.
What's the matter? We're only having a little fun. Go on. You're doing great, Charlie.
I didn't know I could dance before.
That's enough, Frank.
Okay. Do me a favor, will you, kid?
Yeah, sure, Frank.
You think you could run around the corner, get some sandwiches, maybe some turkey, corned beef, potato salad?
Yeah, sure, I'll go right away. Oh, and maybe I could get some pickles too.
Look, I don't even take my car without a Luigi for some pizza.
But you just sent Charlie the sandwiches.
You know, of all people, I don't eat corned beef.
That's not nice, Frank. This was supposed to be his party.
Oh, come on. You can't have any fun with Charlie around. It's such a drag on any party. Come on, Joe. Ellen, there's always a lot of action at Luigi's.
April 16th. Now I know what they mean when they say pull at Charlie Gordon. I'm ashamed. I never knew Frank and Joe liked to have me around so that they could laugh at me. guess it's a good thing to find out. Why do people think a dumb person is funny? They wouldn't laugh at a cripple.
All right, Charlie. Professor Niemer would like another Rorschach check. You've seen these cards before, remember?
Of course I remember.
Is anything wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. It's just those ink blots, they just upset me.
There's nothing to be upset about, Charlie. It's just a standard personality test. Now, look at these cards. Tell me what you see. People see all sorts of things on these ink blots. What would that be for you?
You mean there are no hidden pictures in the ink?
What?
Last time you told me that there were pictures hidden in the ink and that everyone could see them and that I could too.
I could have said that.
What do you mean? That's what you said to me. Just because you're smart enough to go to college doesn't give you the right to laugh at me. I'm sick and tired of people making fun of me all the time.
Now, wait a minute, Charlie.
What's this all about?
I don't want to be made fun of no more. Maybe before I didn't know any better, but now I do and I don't like it.
Nobody's making fun of you.
Well, what about the ink blots? Bert said that there were pictures hidden in the ink and that everyone could see them and that I could too.
Put up the tape of the first steps, would you, Bert? Do you want to hear the exact words that Bert used? Please.
The same words I used today. I have to use the same words for the test to be effective.
I'll believe it when I hear it.
Look at this, Charlie. What might this be? What do you see on this card? People see all sorts of things on these ink blots. What might that be for you?
It looks like somebody spilled ink on a white card. Was that really me? Figured out a way to speed up production on the machines at work. Mrs. Donner was pretty pleased. She gave me a $10 raise and a $50 bonus. Why am I not happy?
Why? Well, you tell me, Charlie.
I don't know. They ignore me. No, it's more frank and Joe. They're hostile to me. I thought they'd be happy for me. They're supposed to be my friends. It just takes the joy out of all of this. Why?
The more intelligent you become, the more problems you'll have.
You tell me that before I got the operation.
Would you have understood? Charlie, your intellectual growth is going to outstrip your emotional growth, so there will be problems. That's why I'm here.
I guess I need you.
How are your studies coming, Charlie?
Fine. French is pretty easy. German's a little more difficult. I'd like to try Russian, though.
Why?
So I can see what War and Peace is like in the original.
You liked it in the English?
Yeah. I stayed up all night last night finishing it.
You read War and Peace in one night?
Yeah.
Well, then you had no time for dreams.
But I do. I don't think there's a moment of sleep when I'm not dreaming.
About what?
Last night it was Charlie. He was around 6 or 7 and he was playing with this toy. And it had these bright beads threaded on the string. And the faster that he spun it, it started to flash.
Is he alone?
No. My mother's there and her hair's in a bun, but as always, I couldn't see her face. But my father was there. And I recognized his shape and his form, but I couldn't see his face. But he had this letter in his hand.
The specialist sent his report, another $25.
Don't tell me about the money. What did he say?
Same as all the others said, and the principal. He said maybe he'd be happier.
I'm not sending him away. He's mine. There's nothing wrong with him.
Rose, it's no good pretending nothing's wrong.
He's not a dummy. He's normal. He's just like everyone else. Put that thing away. Go play with your alphabet blocks.
Stop yelling, Rose. You're scaring him.
I'm scaring him. Me? He's my son. I can make him... Charlie, are you going to be sick to your stomach? Go in the bathroom, Charlie.
For God's sakes, leave him alone. You always do this, and the poor kid...
Well, why don't you help me, Matt? I have to do it all by myself. Every day I try to teach him to help him catch up with the others. He's just slow, that's all, but he can learn like everyone else.
You're fooling yourself. It's not fair to us or to him pretending he's normal. Driving him like he's an animal that can learn to do tricks. Why don't you just leave him alone?
Because I want him to be like everyone else.
Look at him! Look at Charlie! He's gonna be sick!
Next September, he'll go back to PS13 and do the terms work over again.
Oh, why can't you let yourself see the truth? The principal, even the teacher, said he's not capable of performing the work in a regular
Oh,
class.
that teacher, that's the retarded one. Let her start with me again. I'll do more than like the inside. Go inside.
Well, take him. He's frightened.
You stay out of this. He's got to learn to take care of himself. You're a big boy now. You'll be punished. I'm not cleaning up. Oh, Charlie, you're bad, bad, bad.
Charlie, I think that's all for today.
I remember their names. She was Rose, and he was Matt. I remember their names.
Henry Tudor united the Lancastrian and Yorkist claims to the throne. He was succeeded by his son, Henry VIII, in 1509.
I haven't written a progress report in weeks. Professor Niemer is pretty upset.
Mary I, Annalith.
You're too loud. You work just as good when you're subliminal. I think the problem was that his Kinian was reading them. But Professor Niemer has assured me he will draw anything that's too personal. I think I want to ask Miss Kinian on a date. I want to ask Alice on a date. But what am I afraid of? Dr. Strauss said this is a decision I have to make for myself. And I decided I want to. But why don't I? The Russian's going well, and the calculus. There's so much to do, I have hardly any time for sleep. But when I do, my sleep is fitful. So many dreams. I can see my parents' faces now.
Now, can I have a dog? I got an A on my history test. You said I could if I got an A. I'm going to name him Napoleon. I answered the question on him best.
Go play with Charlie now. He's been waiting for you.
I don't want to.
Go play with him.
I don't have to. He's like a baby. He can't play Monopoly or checkers or anything. I won't play with him anymore.
Then go to your room.
Can I have a dog now, Mama, you said?
There'll be no dog as long as you take this attitude towards your brother.
I promised her if she did well in
You
school.
told Charlie that we don't have room for a dog. Are you going back on what you said to him?
But I can take care of my own dog. Feed him and wash him and take him out.
I'll help you.
No! No, it's going to be my dog!
See?
But we have to share things, dear. Charlie can help you take care of it.
No, it's got to be mine. I'm the one who got an A in history. If I can't have it for myself, then I don't want it.
That settles it. No dog.
I hate you!
Norma, stop that at once.
And I hate school! I'll stop studying and I'll forget everything! And I'll be a dummy, just like him. It's happening now. I'm forgetting. I don't remember anything anymore.
What do I do? What do I do? Do I call Dr. Portman and have him tell me to put Charlie in the state Warren home?
Now, Rose, don't be hasty.
Hasty? It feels like I've lived with this 100 years. What do we know? Maybe it has a bad effect on a child to grow up in a house with someone like him.
He tries. The boy tries.
I know he tries, but he can't. Think of her like she's growing up. Who will she meet? Who can she bring to the house with a brother like that?
Oh, now that you've got her, you've decided you don't want him anymore.
You think it's easy? Half of them say put him away, the other half say do anything to keep him, and what do you say? Nothing. Express an opinion for once.
I don't know. He's my son, too. I give you all the money to the doctors, the specialists. All that money, I could have had my own shop by now.
Is the money all you can think of?
Think about her. Try to think about him. Think about us. What is this doing to us, Rose?
Matt, I cannot stand much more.
15th. I like the tape machine, Professor Niemer. Takes less time and there's so much to do. The university set me up with my own private office in the library. It only takes me a single second to absorb a page, so curious students would gather around me as I read. Studying etymologies of ancient languages, newer works of calculus of variation and Hindu history. And tonight, I'm taking Alice to the Philharmonic concert in the park. Why am I so tense?
Mama, Charlie's bothering Peggy and me. Make him go away.
Alice is an attractive woman. She's single. There's nothing to worry about.
You keep away from your sister's friends.
3 blind mice. 3.
You hear me, Charlie? You gotta keep away from girls. You go near a girl, I'll put you in a cage for the rest of your life. You hear me, Charlie? You hear me?
I hear you!
Did you ever see such a sight of new life as 3 blind mice? 3 blind mice.
This'll be fine.
Shouldn't we be a little bit closer?
No reason to be right on top of the orchestra.
What about over there?
This is fine, Charlie. Why are you so edgy?
I'm sorry. What are they playing?
Ulysses Le Maire. He was a French composer.
Please, school lets out at 3 o'clock.
I'm sorry. I'm just so proud of you. You're accomplishing a lifetime of learning in weeks. I just hope to God that you don't get hurt.
Why should I? I mean, even Algernon's still smart, and as long as he's up there, I have nothing to worry about. At least intellectually.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. Professor Niemer assured me that there's nothing to worry about.
I hope so. You're responsible.
If it wasn't for you, I would have never gone through with it.
Did I do the right thing?
Of course. Alice. Alice, I like you very much.
I like you too, Charlie.
Alice. Alice. Why can't I put my feelings into words?
You don't, Charlie. Not
No, why can't I just trust myself enough to say that I
I shouldn't have come here. I have no right to put this on a personal, emotional level. You've got obligations, Charlie. Not only to Dr. Strauss and Professor Niemer, but to the millions who may follow after you.
But I'm not something that you find in a test tube. I'm a man, and I must be able to love.
Wait, Charlie, finish your studies. You're changing too fast.
Just because I'm growing intellectually doesn't mean my feelings for you are going to change.
You're changing emotionally, too. Up till now, I've been your teacher. You're bound to think you're in love with me.
You're saying that little boys always fall in love with their teachers, and emotionally I'm still a little boy.
That's not what I said.
Then why?
Charlie, don't push me. Every week you're a different person. When you mature intellectually, we may not even be able to communicate. But when you mature emotionally, you may not even want me. I've got to think of myself too, Charlie.
Alice. Alice. Look at me. Are you pretending I'm not even here?
No. I'm trying to pretend that I don't care that you are here. But I do.
Stop that! Stop that! Stop staring at us! Come back!
What's the matter?
Didn't you see him?
No, I didn't see anyone.
He was right here. He was close enough to touch.
No, right?
I'm fine. The truth, you didn't see him?
No, it was too dark, but I'm sure.
I'm sorry, I should take you home. I've worked hard, I try my best.
No one's saying your work, Charlie, but something's happened to you and I don't understand. And not just me, everybody. You got this place turned inside out. Nobody can keep their mind on their work. Just last night I had another delegation from the staff. They just gotta let me hold my business together, Charlie. I'm gonna have to let you go.
Where will I go?
You know as well as me you don't need to work here anymore.
But I've never worked anywhere else.
Let's face it. You're not the same Charlie who came to my Sam 17 years ago. You're not even the 3 months ago Charlie. You don't tell me and I don't ask. It's your business. Maybe a miracle. But I do know that you've turned into a bright young man, and running a dough mixing machine is no job for a smart young man.
You promised me, Mrs. Donner, that if I ever needed a job, I would have one here, and I still need one.
You don't. If you did, I'd stand up for you against all of them and their petitions, but they're scared to death of you, Charlie. Maybe scared, maybe jealous, I don't know, but they won't work with you. Charlie, all I got is my business. Stop by sometimes and say hello.
May 24th. They put Algernon back in the big cage with the other mice. What would happen to him?
He will. He will. I've already informed the convention committee. We will present the paper in Chicago.
You're wrong, Harold. June 15th is just 2 weeks from now. It's too soon. He's still changing.
We predicted the pattern correctly so far. We're justified in doing an interim report. There's nothing to be concerned about, G. We succeeded. It's all positive.
This is too important to all of us to bring out prematurely in front of the top men in the field.
If we don't do it now, we'll have to wait another year to present.
You're not the only one with a reputation to consider. If we claim too much now and anything goes wrong, we'll be laughing stock.
I'm not afraid of regression anymore. I've checked and rechecked everything. Nothing can go wrong.
It's too fast. Too fast. You're not thinking about the project. You're thinking about the chair of psychology at Halston. That's what you want out of this.
You are riding on the coattails of my psychological research.
It's my techniques in psychosurgery and enzyme injection patterns that are the important factor here.
Which you never would have developed if it wasn't for my original theory.
Wait, what's the rush? You're like a child who can't wait to open the Christmas package.
I'm not a child, but I am the senior member of this team. And I say we take Charlie and Algernon to Chicago.
June 7th. I hate the nights. After the university closes, since I lost my job in the bakery, I have nightmares constantly. Last night I just blocked all over, so I wouldn't have to come home and sleep. Alice has left messages for me all over, but I'm afraid to see her. 'Cause I'm afraid I'm going to see Charlie again. She'd be at the school right now. Gotta talk to somebody. I like you, tape machine. I like talking to you more than I like to talk to Dr. Strauss. He doesn't have an erase button.
Good night, Miss Kenyon!
Good night.
Bernice, it's Charlie! Oh, where have you been, Charlie? You got a nice suit.
Hello, Bernice. Alice. Miss Kenyon.
Why ain't Charlie been coming to school? You coming back, Charlie?
No, this is just a little visit to stir old memories.
Gee, you talk like a big shot now, Charlie.
Good night, girls. I'll see you tomorrow at 6.
Good night, Charlie.
Tell me,
I had to see you.
now, after all this time, at this place, I know those girls are only poor creatures who don't matter, but your coming here could upset them. Could set back the work I do with them.
Wouldn't affect them that much. You're overreacting.
You've changed, Charlie. With all you've gained, you've lost something you had before. A kindness, an openness. You had a smile.
Stupid, empty grin.
No, a warm, real smile because you wanted people to like you. Now, with all your intelligence...
All right, I've changed, but what would you expect? I'm not going to take the kind of treatment that I've had all my life.
People have not been bad to you.
What do you know about it? The best of them have been smug and patronizing.
You put me in that category too, I suppose.
Don't be stupid.
I guess I must seem rather dull-witted to you.
What is that supposed to mean?
You are destroying my self-confidence. I phoned you after the concert, not once, a dozen times. I never phoned a man before, and you didn't even answer. All right, Charlie Gordon, I'm not as smart as you are. I may pretend I understand what you're talking about, but I don't know about cultural variance and neo-Boolean mathematics. You make me feel slow and dense. I have to remind myself that I'm not losing my intelligence. You're going forward so quickly, it just looks like I'm slipping backward.
Do we have to talk here? Can I take you home?
No!
I need you.
Where were you when I needed you?
It wasn't you, it was me. The way that I feel,
What about the way that I feel? I don't care if your IQ is 185 or has it gone up since the last time I saw you. You don't understand me, how I feel or what I feel or why I feel. I just don't want to see or talk to you now, Charlie. I'm sorry. I shouldn't upset you. You've got to go to the convention. You'll be under strain.
I'll see you there at the convention, right?
No, I'm not going. I called Professor Niemer and told him today. I wouldn't want to spoil it for you, Charlie. There will be interesting, intelligent people you can really talk to, and you'll be in the spotlight.
You've got to come. Everything they've achieved, you've had a big part of it.
No matter what you say, I'll be in the way. I know that's how I feel.
I
No more, Charlie. I think we both need time and distance to think out whatever this is, so if you don't mind, I'll stay home and hang on to my splintering ego. Have a good time, Charlie. There's my bus.
He's not my real brother. My mama told me. He's just a boy we took in because we felt sorry for him. How silly. Charlie doesn't really belong here.
This next presentation needs no introduction. We've all heard about the startling experimental research being done at Beekman University, sponsored by the Wellberg Foundation, and under the direction of Professor Harold Niemer and Dr. Jay Strauss. This is the report we've all been so anxious to hear, so please allow me to turn the meeting over to Dr. Jay Strauss.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great moment in my life because
That chair lady, why don't you just say, step right up and see the sideshow? Shh. Watch as the white-moused moron are changed to geniuses before your very eyes. And the cost is only a thin part trauma and a tenth part neuroses.
Tell me, Joe, this is a very big moment.
For whom? What are they laughing at? Never told me I was filmed. Why are they laughing? I was a man in torment.
quiet. When Charlie first came to us, he was outside society, without family or friends, without the mental equipment to live a normal life. No past, no contact with the present, and no hope for the future. Indeed, it might be said that Charlie Gordon did not really exist before this experiment. And now, may I present to you my colleague, Professor Harold Niemer.
I'm a person with a family and a history and a past, and it was all that before you wheeled me into that operating room.
But has the mouse retained its new mental capacity with no variations?
Well, not exactly. At the peak of his intelligence thus far, Algernon's performance varies somewhat. Sometimes he refuses to work. Other times he'll solve a problem, but rather than take his reward, he'll hurl himself against the walls of the maze.
Why wasn't I told that? That's very important.
We believe this behavior is unique to Algernon, as it has never been displayed in any of the other laboratory mice.
Because no other mouse has achieved this level of intelligence or sustained it this long.
Not now, Charlie.
So we have every reason to believe that Algernon's cure and Charlie's will be permanent.
But how have you determined that, Professor?
By statistical evaluation based on past experiments. Normally dull mice, made normally intelligent, retain that condition for the remainder of their lifespan. The only difference with Algernon is we were vastly more successful, and Charlie's intelligence has reached the level of a genius.
The conclusions are premature. thing to hold a minor increase for a lifespan, but in the case where intelligence has been enormously increased, the waiting period must be extended. We've gone up faster, so we may go down faster, way before the end of a lifespan.
And now, in place of a feeble-minded shell, a burden on society who must fear his own irresponsibility, we have a young man of dignity and sensitivity, ready to take his place as a contributing member of society.
You don't even know if me and Algernon's intelligence is permanent, do you, Doctor?
I'm not sure. We may have presented too soon. What you say, you may have spotted a problem.
Sorry, it must be my superior intelligence.
I should now like you to hear a few words from Charlie Gordon. Go ahead and laugh, but if he's gone, this whole experiment is ruined.
You know something? You may have made a mistake, and it may not matter at all.
Have you found him yet?
Hey, Algernon. I thought we'd run away together. Just you and me. A couple of man-made geniuses. We wouldn't have to solve any problems to get fed. I always resented that. We'll go to New York. I have to see my parents before it's too late. We may not have as much time as I thought we did. Tomorrow morning, the whole place will pack up and move to Denver.
Oh, you're having your little joke. You're not an actor, are you?
No.
I don't drink to show folk. They bring bugs. Well, the whole thing can be yours for only $115.
$115?
It's not only the apartment and the furniture, nearly new. It's the neighborhood you're paying for. The convenience of living on 10th Avenue and 43rd Street.
Well, at least it's close to the library.
You read a lot?
Yeah.
Good. I like the reading ones better than I do the record playing ones. Well, here's the key to the apartment and the key to downstairs. Just remember, no noisy parties and we'll all get along fine. What's that?
It's my maze. I made it myself.
Oh, lovely. Nicest I've ever seen. What's it for?
My mouse.
Sure, you'll be fun to have around, Mr. Gordon. Always joking around with... That's a mouse.
His name's Algernon.
Oh, I don't take mice. Lord knows I spent half my time trying to keep them out.
This isn't your average street mouse, Mrs. Mooney. This is a highly trained animal.
You sure you're not on the stage?
No. This mouse is being used in a very important scientific experiment. He's the smartest mouse the world's ever known. He's also very kind, sweet, and loving when you get to know him.
Smartest mouse in the... Oh, he's a cute little feller. Looks clean. Hello, little mouse. Oh, look at you. Oh, you little nose. If you're sure he won't multiply, you can keep him.
I promise.
I better be going then. If you need anything, just knock on my door. Never had nobody with a mouse before. But you know what I always say, Mr. Gordon? We're all free and equal and entitled to our own craziness.
Well, Algernon, now that we got an apartment, let's get back to work. Where did we leave off in the adventures of the dynamic duo Charlie and Algernon?
June 16th. Our escape hit the papers yesterday. The Daily News had an old picture of me and a sketch of a white mouse. The headline read, "Moron Genius and Mouse Go Berserk." Inside, there was a picture of my mother. It seems my father left her years ago. He has a barber shop in the Bronx. Well, he always wanted that. There's an interview with Norma.
We haven't heard from him in about 17 years. My mother told me that he had been sent to the Warren home. I always thought that he died there. When I asked to get permission for the operation...
Seeing my mother's picture in the papers, I suddenly hated her. She was two people to me. The one who defended me, he's a good boy. He's just like all the other children. Then later, when she was sure Norma was all right, "You're bad, bad, bad." What good would it do to see her now? What could she tell me about myself? Yet, I'm curious. How would she react? Why is it so important for me to say to her, "Mom, look at me. I'm normal. I'm better than normal. I'm a genius"?
Maybe I should start with my father. Should be easy enough to find a barber shop in the Bronx.
Oh, you're next, mister. No waiting. Sit down and make yourself comfortable. You want a magazine? Open your shirt, please. You're lucky. I'm not usually here this late. I stayed for one of my regulars. He just left. Maybe you saw him? He works for the welfare department. Well, I guess they work pretty hard this time of the year. Comes all the way down from the Grand Concourse for me to cut his hair. Well, it's the best haircut and shave in the Bronx. What do you have?
I'll take the works. Haircut, shave, shampoo.
Oh, I bet you got a heavy date, huh?
I'm meeting someone I haven't seen in a long time, and I want to look my best.
Good-looking fella like you. You look like somebody. One of those guys on the 7 o'clock news, maybe. Anybody ever tell you that?
3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how
What is that? What's that noise?
See how they run.
Dropping the razor.
They all run in the farmer's way. She cut their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a sight in your life? The 3 blind mice.
I can't stand it anymore. He's got to go. I won't have her coming home from school crying every day because the children tease her. We can't destroy her chance for a normal life because of him.
What do you want to do? Turn him out in the street?
Put him away. Send him to the Warren State Home.
We'll talk this over in the morning.
No! All you do is talk. All you've ever wanted to do is talk. You don't do anything. I don't want him here another day. Now, tonight!
Don't be foolish, Rose. There's nothing we can do about it yet tonight. You're shouting so loud everyone will hear you.
I don't care. He goes tonight. I can't stand looking at him anymore.
What are you trying to do?
I warn you. Get him out
Put
of here!
that down.
Your daughter's entitled
Put that
to a
knife
life
away.
too. He'll be better off
You're
dead.
out of your
He'll
mind.
be
Get
better
control of
off.
yourself.
Then get him away from here this minute.
All right. Take him over to Herman's tonight. Maybe in the morning we can find out more about those Warren State Home. I know what you've been through. I don't blame you, but you've got to get a hold of yourself. I'll take him to Herman's. Will that satisfy you?
That's all I ask. I've sacrificed my life. I'm not going to sacrifice my daughters too.
3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all run under the farmer's way. She cut their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a sight in your life? The 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how
The way you hold that mirror, I see endless corridors of myself. Me, looking at me, looking at me. Wonder which one of those is really me.
They're all you.
Suppose you're right. Now that you got the hair off my face, maybe you recognize me.
That'll be $3.50, mister.
$3.50?
There's the price list, mister. Hey, are you all right?
Just a minute.
Do I really know you from somewhere?
I'm sorry, it must be something that I ate.
Hey, wait a minute.
What?
You owe me $3.50.
Keep the change. How could I tell him? What was I supposed to say? Hi, I'm Charlie. I speak 20 different languages, living and dead. I'm your son that you can talk to. Will you give customers a shave? How could I tell him? Alice. Alice, have we waited long enough?
Charlie, I was so worried. I thought you ran away because of what I said.
No.
Well, why didn't you call me sooner? Strauss or Niemer, you could have let us know you were all right.
Don't scold me. You said you wanted time and distance, and I had to find some answers.
Did you find them?
No, or yes, maybe, I don't know. They just led to more questions.
You did have Algernon.
You needed to be alone, too.
What have you been doing?
Reading, writing, thinking mostly. I don't know how many movies they had to help me think.
Did you get any rest?
No. Luckily, I live next to 42nd Street, and they have a theater that plays movies all night.
What about Algernon?
I've made his mazes even more complex, and he gets through them easily enough. It's just his behavior is erratic.
How do you mean?
Sometimes he doesn't work. He just lies there. Maybe he needs to see a movie.
Oh, charming.
Who is it?
Mrs. Mooney, are you all right, Mr. Gordon?
Yeah, come on in, Mrs. Mooney. It isn't locked.
I heard voices, and I wondered if you was all right.
This is Mrs. Mooney, my landlady. This is Miss Kinnean. We're working on a project together.
I was just a bit worried after that happened.
What happened?
Nothing.
Oh, it was very early in the morning, about 4:30 or so. I heard a noise at the front door. Somebody singing Three Blind Mice, would you believe? When I looked, it was Mr. Gordon. He couldn't seem to get his key in the lock. I opened for him.
That was,
He acted so funny. I wasn't sure if he was play acting or if he just had a wee drop too much.
no, just youthful high spirits.
What did he do?
Oh, he acted all funny. Like he was a little boy talking about wanting to go to school to learn, to read and write. Oh, he was a regular sketch. Oh, and he did say he couldn't play with some girl, Ellen or Alice or something, because his mother would put him in a cage. Oh, I don't know at all.
I'm sorry if I disturbed you. It won't happen again, I promise.
No, no. At my age, you don't sleep so good, Mr. Gordon, and any little thing can break up a long night. Pleasure to meet you, miss. As long as you're all right, Mr. Gordon.
Is that why you finally called me?
I called you because I wanted to see you. I didn't even remember that, but I'm not surprised. He wants out. Charlie, he wants out.
Don't talk like that.
It's true. Ever since the night of that concert, he's been following me. And that's why I haven't been able to see you, 'cause I'm afraid I'm going to see him again.
Charlie, this isn't real. You built it up in your mind.
I can't help but feel like I'm not me, like I've surpassed this place and locked him out, like they locked me out of the bakery. What I'm trying to say is, Charlie exists in the past. And the past is real, so Charlie exists.
Charlie, you've been alone too much. You've got to call Strauss and Niemer. You've got to help them. Not only to help yourself, but to help all the others.
It's Charlie, the little boy whose mother did things to him when he was young that comes between us.
Charlie, there are 5 million developmentally in America, and more will be born. With your intellect, your knowledge, your specific condition, you can help them more than anyone.
All this time that I've been growing intellectually, I still have the emotional wiring of a child like Charlie. And every time that I think of you, of loving you, there's a short circuit.
Hurry, let me help. Let me help. I love you.
Why should you? How can you?
I don't know why. I only know it is.
No, stop, go away, go away.
Charlie!
Go home, Al.
Charlie!
Go home. Julie doesn't want me to love you. Just go home.
July 2nd. A terrible thing happened today. Mrs. Mooney came up to clean. Algernon bit her. I've warned her before not to play with him, but sometimes she brings him food. Today he bit her thumb and hung on till I could shake him loose. I have to get him back to the lab. He still learns new problems, but his behavior is frightening. There's a sense of urgency in his behavior. I'm going to call Professor Niemer and ask to be allowed to work on the project.
So it was fear drove it back to us.
That's what motivates most people, although in Charlie's case, I think there's a strong desire to help.
Well, I don't suppose we should say anything about his disappearance. At least we have him and the mouse back.
Exactly. Without them, we have nothing. And let's face it, Charlie's in control now.
Why?
Because he's smarter than we are. And besides, the Foundation says let him do what he wants, give his work priority.
And the Foundation pays the bills.
Yes, everything's against us, money and brains. Where's Charlie?
Oh, Doris is taken through the lab explaining equipment and procedures.
And the mouse?
I ran some tests. He's forgotten a lot. He's solving problems, but at a much more primitive level.
In what way?
Well, he used to be able to solve simple patterns, so I put him through the binary test 3 times, and he's solving it by trial and error.
Perhaps he's been away from the lab too long.
Maybe. We'll see how he runs tomorrow.
Just seen the freezer and the incinerator.
Good afternoon, Charlie. Welcome back.
Excuse me. How are you?
I'm glad to see you. That's how I am.
I suppose I should apologize.
Oh, forget it. If we didn't understand, who would?
We're glad to have you working with us.
Thank you. Doris just explained to me that you freeze the specimens and dispose of them in the incinerator.
We have to. It cuts down on odors and controlled decomposition.
Not Algernon! What I mean is, when I don't want them dumped in there, just give them to me and I'll take care of them.
From now on, Charlie, you can have anything you want.
I want to get to work as soon as possible. What plans have you made for me?
What do you mean?
I'm on staff now, and that means I have a right to know everything that pertains to this experiment, and that includes my future.
It's taken care of, but don't even think about it.
Is it possible that I could regress?
Oh, we have the highest hopes of permanence. We still do. We surely do.
If I regress, will I go back to the way that I was?
Charlie, there's so much work to do.
Just answer me!
If the experiment fails, there's no way of knowing if you'll go back to the same mental level. Events occurring after the surgery, emotional disturbances, there may even be a regression, a more primitive level of functioning.
You really let me have it.
You wanted it.
I did, so what then?
You'll be taken care of.
How?
It's arranged.
Just tell me how.
The Foundation has arranged for you to go to the Warren State Home and Training School.
Warren?
They'll take care of everything as long as you live. Your sister agreed.
I'll bet. Why Warren? Why there? Mrs. Downer got me out of there. Why do I have to go back?
Charlie, if you can take care of yourself, you won't have to, and there's every reason to suppose you'll stay just as you are today. We just had to make provision just in case.
Tell me, is there any way that I could go there and look it over as a visitor?
It could be arranged, but why?
Don't, Charlie, please.
I want to. I have to know what it's like while I'm in control enough to do something about it. Please arrange a visit, Doctor.
If you insist.
Doctor, at least it's not the incinerator. I had to know. The meaning of my total existence involves knowing my future as well as my past. Where I'm going as well as where I've gone. Although we know the end of the maze holds death, I know the path that I chose through the maze makes me who I am. Come on in, Mrs. Mooney. It isn't locked.
It isn't Mrs. Mooney. I've been trying to phone you all night.
Since 7.
How do you know?
Because I got home at 6 and the phone's been ringing since 7 and I haven't been answering.
Sitting in the dark, pitying yourself?
Thinking.
Were you at the lab at all today?
It's above 11.
And you know about Algernon?
No, he won't eat. I know that Bert is force-feeding him with an eyedropper. And I know that while I watched him squirming under those little bands, I felt like my own arms and legs were tied. I know I should stop identifying with him.
Have you eaten anything at all today?
Checking.
That's not what I meant. I meant, can I make you some coffee?
No.
We were all worried. Where were you all day?
Sightseeing.
Sightseeing.
Thought it was a nice rainy day, I might as well go for a drive in the country. Just so I had a place to go, I thought I'd stop by the Warren State Home.
Today?
Mustn't put off till tomorrow what'll happen tomorrow.
Charlie, you cannot let yourself think like this. You've got to get home.
But I don't have a home. So I just have to let the chromosomes sort themselves out till I know what'll become of me.
How was it, Warren?
Practically a country club.
Don't be flippant.
They're nice people. They're understaffed. There are no bars except for the emotionally disturbed. And the rest of the patients are roughly divided between the tidies and the untidies.
What does that mean?
What do you think it means? They teach the high morons woodworking and feed bottles to the less fortunate ones. They're devoted to their patients. They really are. But no one spoke of rehabilitation. No one spoke of hope. The feeling was living death.
Charlie, let me do something. What can I do?
You do a lot of things. You could comfort me, you could love me, you could be my wife, but Charlie won't let you. Not me, the one that's on the inside, and the one that's going to be on the outside very soon.
What will you do?
Work. As fast and as hard as possible. Maybe a lifetime worth of research, and I may only have a few weeks.
You'll call me if you're alone, if you need anything, if you're just sitting in the dark, you'll call me?
No more sitting in the dark. Note for Bert on the problem of calculus of intelligence. I wonder if I'll be a tidy or an untidy. Note for Bert. Calculus of intelligence. The quotient can be extended as long as the waiting period is...
What's that?
More of Charlie's notes.
How many days' work is that?
2.
Dear heaven.
I've got 3 stenographers working, and I've had to call in extra help.
Don't tell me I'm here every night till 1 listening to these tapes.
July 18th. They all think I'm killing myself at this pace. They don't understand. I'm living at a peak of clarity and beauty I never knew existed. It's as if all the knowledge I've soaked up in the past months has lifted me to a peak of light and understanding. This is beauty, love, and truth all rolled into one. This is joy. And now that I've found it, how can I give it up?
It's incredible. I can't believe that any human being can work at that pace, at that level.
Doctor, I've read some of this. Of course, I don't understand it. Is this work really as brilliant as it seems?
Don't ask me. It may take science 40 years to understand what Charlie's telling us this month.
What have we unleashed, Doctor? What do we do?
Well, we hire another stenographer and make very sure she gets it all down correctly.
July 25th. Algernon became lost in the maze today. He threw himself against the walls, twisting over, leaping up. Twice he caught his claws in the mesh overhead, screeching wildly. Then he stopped. He remained, lying for hours in his own dirt, unmoving.
So it continues and continues.
And now he seems concerned only about Algernon.
Understandable.
What do you think the reason is for Algernon's regression?
I tell you the truth, Jay, I've stopped thinking. If there's an explanation to be found, Charlie will find it before I do. I'm going home.
It's only 2 o'clock.
I'm going to help my wife. Tonight's your dinner party.
Is Charlie coming?
Well, he's been invited. It's in honor of the Wellbergs, and they put up the money, so he really should come if he can take time from his work.
Well, I'll see you there.
7 o'clock.
August 5th. It's been a blind alley for 2 days. The
problem is, does Algernon's regression affect the basic hypothesis of the experiment? Is the reaction peculiar to him, or is the whole theory false? And if so, where does that leave me? The answer's in my mind, but I have to let it stew for a while. I have to think. So I decided, I'm going to Mrs. Niemer's party tonight. And I hope that the answer comes to me when I'm not looking for it. I pray to God it's the answer I want, but if not, I have to be thankful for what I've had. Thank you for inviting me, Mrs. Niemer.
It was good of you to come. You know Mr. Harvey from the Wellberg Foundation Board?
Yes, of course. We gave a lot more action on that Charlie Fund staff.
Yes, wasn't it generous of him to help out? Oh, but it must be dull taking up the project after my husband laid all the groundwork. Wouldn't it be more fun to start something new of your own?
No one really starts anything new, Mrs. Niemer. We all build upon other men's failures, and it's what each man contributes to the sum of knowledge that counts.
Of course. It's a shame Mr. Gordon wasn't here when the project got started, but... Oh, I forgot. You weren't in any position to do psychological experimentation then.
Oh, Charlie, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. Excuse us, Mrs. Niemer. I thought you were about to lose your temper.
I wasn't going to lose it. I was going to throw it away.
That's a no-no. Dr. Harvey's on the board.
Why was she writing me like that?
She's just being a wife reminding her husband's boss on the court case. Why are you so tense?
Don't ask me why I'm tense. If I knew why I was tense, I wouldn't be tense.
So this is our Mr. Gordon.
Am I?
Charlie, you haven't met Jackie Wellberg yet?
And this is my sister Anne.
We were just talking about money.
Oh, don't we always? All of this scientific stuff is frightfully expensive.
Well, it's always a problem getting sufficient funds to work on projects like these.
The problem is convincing my board of directors that this type of research has practical value. You know, I started the foundation, but it's not all my money. But she puts nearly every penny she could spare into it. Well, she hardly ever contributes to my project.
And what is that?
Wildlife preserves. Well, do you know how many of our Native American birdies are dying out?
No, I guess there are blanks in my education.
For instance, there are only 15 whooping cranes left. You know, Jay, I just wish that when we start something like this, we could be more certain of the results.
Well, no one can ever know about a project in advance, and results are often negative, but that's important to the next researcher who at least learns what not to do.
So much money! I mean, I'm delighted for Mr. Gordon, but is this really something the world will be able to use? It would be so marvelous for the Foundation's image if we could just show that there's some tangible good coming from all of this.
You're so right! We're hoping that we can go out and make enough of the 5 million retardates in this country intelligent enough so they can go out and sit on the eggs of the last 15 whooping cranes and increase the population maybe 30 to 40%! Do you think that would help the image?
Oh, my dear Jackie, why don't you come and try some of these marvelous little cheese things? I found this woman up in Greenwich Village who comes in with all these pots and pans and works absolute miracles right in your own kitchen.
Just who do you think you are?
Harold, now is not the time.
Insulting Miss Wellberg like that. You should be indebted to her, if not to us, in more ways than one.
Since when is a guinea pig supposed to be grateful?
Do you really think you were better off before the Foundation became interested in you?
Yeah, in some ways, yes. No one here cares about me, Charlie Gordon, whether he's a moron or a genius, insofar as it affects your work. Well, guess what? I've served your purposes, and now I'm correcting your mistakes, but don't ask me for gratitude.
You want to feel sorry for yourself? You go ahead. Don't expect me to feel sorry for you. Experiment was calculated to increase your intelligence, and it did. We had nothing to do with your development from a likable, mentally challenged young man to an arrogant, self-centered ingrate.
You wanted someone to be made intelligent and kept in a cage and be displayed when you wanted to take some bows.
Charlie, we did everything we could for you.
Except treat me like a human being. I'm a person now, and so is Charlie. You doctors and PhDs believe that a person with an IQ of less than 100 that we don't matter, but we do.
We?
Yes, Charlie, he's here. He's still here.
He's
He sometimes sees himself as he used to be, as a separate individual, as though the old Charlie was struggling for possession of his body.
He's not struggling, he's just waiting.
Should I take him home? Yes.
Before I got the operation, I had lots of friends in the bakery. Mrs. Donner. And now I ain't got nobody.
Come on, Charlie, let's go home.
What? Did I say something wrong? My mom always told me that if I was nice to people, I'd have lots of friends to talk to, and I wouldn't be lonely anymore.
Charlie, go along with Bert now.
Sick. Not here. So, you finally decided to come face to face with me. Stay where I can see you. I'm tired of you spying on me from the dark corners where I can't catch up to you. What do you want from me, Charlie? You want these back, don't you? I don't blame you. It's your body, it's your life, it's your mind, and no one has a right to take that away from you. Who's to say that my light's better than your darkness? But I'm not your friend, Charlie. I'm your enemy. And I'm not giving up my intelligence without a fight. I'm not going back down to that cave. There's no place for me to go now, Charlie. Just stay away from me. Don't reach your hand up for my help, Charlie. I've got problems of my own. I've got problems of my own. That's it. I've solved the problem. Oh my God, I solved the problem.
May I please speak to Harold, Mrs. Newman? Harold, listen, you'd better get down here right away. It's Charlie. I know you're angry, but he's brought in his report, and you better see it. It's quite remarkable. Bert's feeding it to the computers right now to check his conclusions. No, he's not here. He gave it to Bert, and he said it was time to go to Brooklyn. I don't know what he meant by that. Harold, just get down here, please.
Why is it so different? You're all the children. Why is it so shabby?
You want something?
Ma?
Charlie,
Ma, it's me.
what are you doing here?
I just had to see you. I just want to talk to you.
No!
Don't slam the door in my face. Don't run away from me.
Go away, leave me alone.
Ma! I'm not the same as I was. You gotta understand that. I'm different now. Ma, I've changed. Ma, I'm not retarded anymore. I'm not a moron. I'm just like everybody else. Just like you, and Matt, and Norma. Let me in. Ma.
Oh, Charlie. Oh, he's so clumsy, never looking where you're going. When are you going to learn to look? Oh, my God.
Mom, look at me. I'm different, Mom.
The house is such a mess. I wasn't expecting company. Look at those windows. And the woodwork. And these floors. I've got to wax them again. It's got to be clean. Have you come about the electric bill? I intend to put a check in the mail at the beginning of the month, but my husband's out of town on business. But I told them they didn't have to worry about the money because my daughter gets paid this week and we'll be able to take care of our bills. So there's no use bothering me about the money.
Is she your only child? Don't you have any other children?
I had a boy, so brilliant that all the other mothers were jealous. They put the evil eye on him. They called it the IQ, but it was the evil IQ. He would have been a great man if not for that. He was very, very bright, exceptional, they said. He could have been a genius. Excuse me now. My daughter has a young man coming for dinner, and I've got to get this place clean. How could it be? They told me you couldn't be changed.
They performed a new operation. I'm famous now. All over the world I can read and I can write.
Oh, thank God, my prayers. Oh, all these years I thought he didn't hear me, but he was listening all the time, just waiting his own good time to do his will.
I'm glad I came.
I've got to tell everyone. Those teachers at the school, wait till you see their faces when I tell them. And Uncle Herman, he'll be so pleased. And wait till your father comes home. And your sister will be so happy to see you. You have no idea.
Mom, there's something I have to give you before I go.
Go. You can't go away now.
I have to.
Well, when will you be back?
I don't know, but I want you to have this.
What is it?
It's a scientific report I wrote. The Algernon Gordon effect. It's named partly after me. I wanted you to have a copy so that you could show people that your son turned out to be more than a dummy after all.
It's got your name. I always knew this would happen someday. I tried everything. You were too young to remember, but I tried. I told them you'd make your mark in the world. They laughed, but I told them.
For a little while, and we had a little talk.
I'm glad. She doesn't remember very much these days, and Dr. Portman keeps trying to put her into a nursing home, but I can't think of her at one of those institutions. I mean, I couldn't do that to my own mother. I never recognized you.
I didn't think you'd want to see me again.
Oh, Charlie, I did. She told me that you died in Warren, and I believed it all these years. And then when those professors came, I didn't know what to do. They wouldn't let me see you because they wouldn't want you upset before your experiment. But Charlie, when I saw that you'd become a genius, I knew that you would come back for us. And God, you have. You really have. Can I make you something to eat, or... Well, I guess I really don't know where to begin.
Let's start with you.
I work, I come home, and I take care of her.
You never go out?
Oh, yes, of course, but it's difficult.
You ever get that dog?
Yeah, I think I was about 10.
Napoleon, right?
How did you know?
It's just something I remembered. I remember you got an A in a test, and they promised you a dog. Matt wouldn't let you have it because you didn't want me to play with it.
I don't remember that. Charlie, was I so mean to you?
There's this one memory I'm curious about. I'm not sure if it's a memory or a dream or if it's just something I made up.
we were around 6 or 7, and we had these lampshades on our head. And we were pretending to be Chinese coolies. And we were jumping up and down on this old mattress, and you fell, and you hit your head on the wall, and you started to scream. It was just a bump, but you said I tried to kill you. And she beat me with a strap. Did that happen? Was that real?
Charlie, I thought that was my dream. I remember the lampshades and the mattress. It's just, I hated you, Charlie. I hated you because they fussed over you all the time. You never got spanked for not bringing home the best marks. And in school, the kids would always write mean things in my books, like moron sister or dummy Gordon family. And this one day, I wasn't invited to this child's birthday party, and I knew, Charlie, it was because you were my brother. So when we were playing with the lampshades, I had to get even, so I lied. God, Charlie, what a brat I was. I'm so ashamed.
I was safe here in the kitchen. You had to face the entire world.
Charlie, why did she send you away? Every time I asked her, she would only say that it was for your own good.
In a way, she was right.
Charlie, why did it happen to us?
It's past. I'm glad I met you again.
Charlie, you don't know what a nightmare it's been here. Coming home every single night, wondering whether or not she's harmed herself. I'm just so glad that you're finally here. I'm needing someone.
Don't cry. I have some money saved up from what the foundation pays me, and I'll try to help you out for as long as I can, but I have to go.
No, Charlie, you can't go. You have to stay with us now.
I have to travel. I have to do some speeches, and I'm going to try to come visit you and help you as much as I can, I promise.
Don't go. I'm frightened.
What are you doing? Get away from her! Get away from here!
Mother! Give me that knife.
I can't stand having you here. Look what he's made of my life. I won't have him do it to my child.
Oh! She doesn't know any better. She's just raving at the old Charlie.
I feel like I've seen all of this happen before.
I gotta go.
Wait, Charlie, that's it. That's why they sent you away, wasn't it?
Take care of yourself.
3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all
And that's it?
Computers confirm every detail of Charlie's report.
There could be no mistake?
I didn't think Charlie was capable of making a mistake, and if we start questioning the data, it's the first step back to the Stone Age.
Charlie's analysis was incredible.
Everything about him is incredible. Every time I look at him, I have this sort of double vision. A man who first came into our testing room hovering behind a man who's gone farther than Einstein.
The Algernon-Gordon effect by Charles Gordon. The simple hypothesis here proved may be summarized in the following terms.
Artificially induced intelligence deteriorates at a rate of time directly proportional to the quantity of the increase.
You memorized it?
Not consciously. It just sticks in my mind.
I am sorry that my own contribution to this experiment must rest upon the ashes of the work of this staff, especially those who have done so much to help me. Signed, Charles Gordon.
It's Algernon.
When?
About an hour ago, we found him stretched out in the corner of his cage as if he was running in his sleep.
Was Charlie affected?
Yes, I think he was affected. After the dissection, Charlie took him and put him in some kind of a box.
And the dissection?
Proved Charlie right.
We didn't need the computers. We should have known that Algernon wouldn't let Charlie down.
Algernon's brain had shrunk in mass. And there was a general smoothing out of cerebral convolutions as well as a broadening and deepening of brain fissures.
You'll prepare a report?
Tomorrow, but the same damn thing is happening to him.
And now the question is, how much can he hang on to?
I am afraid. Not of life, or death, or nothingness, but of wasting it as if I'd never been.
progress reports through August 25th. Did you give them to Professor Niemer for me?
Typed, why didn't you use a machine?
I prefer to type. It's difficult, but I can't concentrate with that machine going. Does it matter to you?
Not at all, Charlie. Just sit down.
What is that, a maze test?
Professor Niemer wanted.
No. I'm done running the mazes. I'm in a blind alley, and that's all there is to it.
Just take it easy, Charlie.
What do you mean, take it easy? You don't know what it's like.
No, but I can imagine. We're all pretty sick about it.
Just keep your sympathy. Just leave me alone. I'm sorry. It's not you. I'm sorry. How's everything? How's your thesis going?
Good. It's being typed. I get my PhD in February.
Good boy. Keep plugging. Nothing like an education.
So, Professor Niemer would like a Rorschach test.
What does he expect to find?
You don't have to. You're volunteering. I understand.
No, it's okay. Deal out the cards, but don't tell me when you find out, okay? I don't know what he expects to find. I know all the responses I'm supposed to have. It's not going to be valid. All I have to do is... It's a woman on her knees washing the floor. No, it's a man holding a knife. No, it's two people tugging on a rope. No, it's two faces looking at each other. I don't want to do this anymore.
All right, Charlie, we'll stop for today.
If there's anything else in my brain that you need, just get it on the progress report, because I'm done.
I understand, Charlie.
No, you don't, Bert. We're on different levels, and I passed you on the way up, and I'm passing you again on the way down, and I don't think I'll be in this elevator again.
Would you like to talk to Dr. Strauss?
No! I need to be alone for a little while. Would you say goodbye for me? Don't tell him I'm here.
Sure, Charlie. I'll take care of it.
I went to the apartment, you weren't there. I thought you might be here.
I am.
I decided it was time for me to put in an appearance. I thought maybe I could clean up a little or cook. I didn't think you mind.
I do mind. I don't want anyone feeling sorry for me.
It's not because I feel sorry for you. It's because I feel sorry for me.
What does that mean?
It doesn't mean. It just is. Like a flower. I wanted to see you.
What's the matter? The zoo is closed?
Oh, come off it, Charlie. I waited long enough for you to come and get me. I decided to come to you.
Why?
Because there's still time. And I wanted to spend it with you.
Sounds like a bad pop song.
Please don't make jokes.
I can't help it. I'm in the middle of the biggest joke of my life, and I don't have time to spend with anybody but myself.
I can't believe you want to be completely alone.
I do.
We had a little time together before. We had things to talk about, things to do together. It didn't last long, but it was something. Look, we've known this might happen. It was no secret. I didn't go away, Charlie. I've just been waiting.
This is crazy. There's nothing for you to look forward to. I don't dare look forward myself in a month, weeks, days, maybe. I'll go back to Warren, and you can't follow me there.
No. Once you're there, I'll do my best to forget you. But until you go, why must we be alone?
Because I'm not myself. I'm falling apart, and I don't want you to see me like this. Alice. I don't regret the experiment.
Neither do I.
Go away when I tell you to. You may not have a lot of time, but people will have more time than others have in a lifetime. Alice and I got into an argument. We got into a fight. Let's see if I remember.
The Algernon Gordon effect by Charles Gordon. The Algernon Gordon effect by Charles Gordon. The simple hypothesis.
Try it again.
The simple
No, not see, Jack, see. It's run, Jack, run. Now try again. No, you're lazy. I'll beat it into you until you learn it. Now try it again.
Run, Jack, run! Please, please, God, don't take it all away!
Charlie, it's Dr. Strauss. Please let me in. I brought your check.
I don't want no charity.
No, Charlie, not charity. I want the progress reports.
I'll mail them now. Go away.
Charlie, Charlie.
September 15th. I haven't wrote a progress report in a long time. It's hard to write. I know I should look up the words in the word book, but I'm tired, so I use easy words instead. Let's see. I read every day so I won't forget how. Westerns from the drugstore.
There's himself staring out of the window again. I have to go out in the yard and look up to be sure he's still alive.
I'm okay, but thank you, Mrs. Mooney.
And what are you doing for food, I ask ya? Here, I brought you some good Irish stew and a pot of tea. Lord knows why I bother sitting around like you do. If you're sick, it's the one thing. But I don't like loafers. And you're beginning to remind me of my son, the loafer, before I threw him out of the house. The doctor fellow paid you rent, that's one thing. But I don't like all this lying about. A fellow like you should be working.
Yeah, but I can't work because Mrs. Donner fired me for being too smart.
Then you gotta find something else. Can't lie about unless you're sick.
I think I'm sick, Mrs. Mooney.
Well, you certainly don't look good. Maybe it's one of them flus that Chinese Reds are always headed over. I'll get the tray later.
Alice was here when I didn't let her in because I didn't want her to laugh at me. I told her, I don't love you no more. That's not true, but September 21st. I did a dumb thing today. I forgot that I wasn't in Miss Kinnian's class no more. And so I went and I sat in my old seat. And she looked at me funny. And I said, hello, Miss Kinnian. I'm ready for class, only I forgot my books. And Miss Kinnian, she started to cry. Isn't that funny? And then she ran away. But then I remembered I was operationed on. And I got smart. And I said, holy smokes. I pulled a real Charlie Gordon on that one. But that's why I'm going away for good. So the Warren stayed home. I don't want people feeling sorry for me and crying no more. I don't know what I did wrong and why I'm dumb again. Maybe I just didn't try hard enough. Or maybe someone put the evil eye on me. But I know one thing. I got a new rabbit's foot. And I got some books. And even if I can't read, I'll try and maybe get a little smarter than I was before I got operation done. Goodbye, Miss Kinnean. And Dr. Strauss. And Professor Niemer and Bert Selden. Your friend, Charlie.